Hi guys, welcome to another video from Overbite Gaming, and today we're taking a look at Terminator 2D No Fate. Almost didn't get this one. I just came home from work, had to record, went into my lounge, opened the door, stepped in, turned the light on. Oh my god! One of my dogs has decided to do his business inside, despite having a dog flap. And he's done it right by the door. So I've not only smeared it across the carpet with the door, I have also stepped both feet into it, and I have just spent a horrible, hour clearing up. And honestly, I don't do well with shit like that. No pun intended. I was doing the old smiling because I heard in CSI that suppresses the gag reflex. Oh, still almost lost my cookies. Oh, not good. But yes, we're finally here talking about Terminator 2D No Fate. Which is a throwback game. It feels like something that could have come out in the 90s, except it wouldn't have been done quite as well, I suspect. So Terminator 2D No Fate is a video game representation of, obviously, Terminator 2, which is a fantastic movie. I personally prefer the first one. I think that's probably a bit controversial. But yeah, I do. I think Terminator works better as a bad guy, but whatever. So, and you go through the movie. It's a side-scrolling shooter, platformer, beat 'em up kind of deal. There's some chase sections where you have to go on a bike or in a truck, stuff like that. There's also some future sections, so it does add a little bit that wasn't in the movie as well, which is nice. So they're basically the gimmick is the No Fate thing is there are a couple decision points you can make as you go through the game, and that will alter some of the levels you play and the ending. When you go through normally, you play as the Terminator once, and it's in the it's a rather well done sequence actually. It's when he goes to the bar when he first arrives from the future, and he says, "I'm going to need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle." And I can't do Arnie impressions, so I'm going to stop right now. And he's butt naked. Obviously, there's no Johnson or anything shown in the game. The game, as you can see, is obviously in a bit graphics format, and it works well for the most part. All of the animations are really well done, and it plays solid as hell. So as I was saying, when you go through the main timeline, that's the time you'll play as the Terminator. But when you branch off, you will get levels where you have to as the Terminator fight with his minigun, and he turns up later on, stuff like that. I'm not going to go too far into it because the main selling point of this game is old school side-scrolling action based on the Terminator, and it does all of that really well. What isn't quite as good is each run of the game will take you 40 minutes to an hour depending on your difficulty level, and it's worth going through 3 times to see the extra levels and the different endings, even though the 2 alternate endings are very similar, except something happens in one that doesn't happen in the other. So there's that. So you're looking at 3 hours of content from the main story, and then there's an arcade mode where you can where you go through without continues, stuff like that. There's a boss rush mode, things like you would expect, but it's basically doing the same stuff, just more of it. So I think it is reasonably priced. I mean, it is only £25. I got it on offer, so it was like £22. So that's on PC. Obviously you're gonna have to play the PlayStation, Nintendo and Xbox tax, I suspect, if you want to get it on one of those platforms, whereas I'm just paying the Steam tax, which, although has been criticized, is not as bad as the consoles. So it's up to you, really. It's a really well done 2D side-scrolling old school shooter, and it's not like a bullet hell one. I never really felt like it was unfair. It was just getting the patterns down. There's one boss fight that gives me trouble in it, and on any level it's just getting my head around the patterns. Because the first boss, I'll tell you about the opening level, because the opening level is basically Sarah's training John. It's set before the movie, before she goes into Pescadero, and she's training John, and then double dragon style, John gets gut punched, put over this big lad's shoulder with a minigun, and kidnapped. So Sarah goes after him, and it teaches you the game mechanics, which are very similar to Ocean's Robocop or Robocop versus Terminator as well, in the fact that you can shoot while you're moving, or you can stand still and just aim, which comes in handy, but I didn't use it a lot because generally you can, while you're moving, you can also aim in different directions, so I never really found the need for it, except if there was some bastard waiting at the bottom of the stairs. I was just like, oh, alright, well, I'm aiming down now. So there you are. So you go after John, you fight your way through just goons, let's call them, goons with guns. It's pretty easy. You go through, you get an idea of the gameplay, and then you fight the boss. Now, he's apparently almost directly lifted from another game. The game escapes me. It's not one I've played, so make of that what you will. But he has like a set pattern, and he's very easy to kill. So then he sort of turns up later, but it's not him. It's like two big Terminators, but they do the exact same thing, but there's two of them, so it's very difficult, at least it is for me, to work out the pattern. I've struggled a lot with it. I mean, I did get by them, but it took me multiple attempts, even on like the easiest difficulty, as compared to like what you're seeing here, which is not the easiest difficulty. This is what would be judged as normal, which, you know, I think I died in the footage. Whether or not you actually get to see that amount of footage, I don't know. If I don't have to put it in, I won't put it in, trust me. There is one notable exception to the gameplay. Well, there's a couple we'll talk about. The first one is there's a stealth section of Sarah getting out Pescadero. It's not egregiously terrible in terms of stealth. You know me, I'm terrible at stealth games. If I would just much rather have a straight fight, even if it's like stacked against me because I'm not doing stealth, say. And it's a little bit like that in this. Generally speaking, the orderlies are much bigger and stronger than Sarah, so you don't want to alert them. It's a lot. You can take them out generally, but it's more difficult, and if they get their hands on you, you're pretty much toast. So you want to sneak up behind them and give them a bamf with your old nightstick in the back of the head, which is nice. And then, of course, our old mate, the T-1000, turns up and starts pursuing you, which seems to be scripted. It's not like, what is it, Mr. X in Resident Evil 2, where he just roams the level. It seems to be scripted, so he'll only turn up at certain points, and you need to know how to avoid him, which might be ducking into a door, or locking doors behind you to delay him, things like that. So it's a nice little switch up. It's obviously not my favourite level because it's stealth, even if it's not egregious stealth, right? So there's also a couple of levels. So you've got the Storm Drain. Is it Storm Drain? They race down. So you got John on his little sort of motocross bike, and the T-1000's in the truck behind him, and they do a good job of replicating that. The way that works is you get warning signals and boost signals, and you're basically on two lanes, and you just hit the boosts and avoid the warnings because it's like piles of junk that will damage you. And then Arnie comes by, puts you on his bike, and you do the same thing, except there's no boost this time, and you've got a shotgun, so you've got to shoot behind to destroy the truck. And unbeknownst to me, when I moved up in difficulty levels, they added gates. So you have to shoot in front to open the gates, like he did when he got into the drainage system in the movie, but they're just in the drainage system now. There's like a few instances of them. So that took me by surprise, and I hit the first one, but I was looking out for it at that point. It does signpost it. It was just more of like, what the fuck is that? Bang. Oh, it's that. Okay, gotcha. And then later on, you have another similar one where you're fleeing the helicopter. So you'll switch between driving the truck, where you just avoid things, and then you'll go to the back where you're Sarah, where you have to shoot out different parts of the helicopter and take cover in the van. Obviously building up to... Oh, I've got hiccups. Oh, it's all that gagging I was doing earlier. Jesus. So yeah, you'll take cover in the van as Sarah, and then it builds up to obviously crashing into the metalworks and him getting frozen and splooshed. And then you do the metalworks thing. I think it's maybe a missed opportunity, but you don't play as T-800, like having the fight with the T-1000. You play as Sarah, you're escorting John. Basically what that means is you just follow John as he goes, and occasionally the T-1000 will pop up and you'll shoot him with your shotgun until he falls down, then you carry on, and then he obviously comes back again because he's the T-1000. Obviously ending with the T-1000 getting knocked into the molten metal furnace. There's a name for it, but I can't remember the name. It's the little thing. It's just the not cauldron. Oh, I only have to make them on fucking 7 Days to Die like every playthrough. It's ridiculous. Crucible. Hey, we got there. My stupid old brain. Hey, whatever. So you know, it follows the movie pretty well, but there's also like an epilogue after that. So some ways won't end quite so endearingly, shall we say. So like, depending on which way you go, there's two major decision points. I'll tell you what they are, because they do appear in the movie. So they have from the extended cut, when they decide to let the Terminator learn by resetting his CPU or whatever they do, they take it out, and Sarah's like, maybe I should just hammer this to shit and lose our best weapon against the T-1000, which would have been stupid, but she almost did it. So you can choose to let him learn or to make him obey orders. I mean, make him obey orders, you get him to kill Dyson. I know, I like Miles Dyson as much as the next man, and I was very sorry when he died. Maybe even, you know, moisture forming, perhaps. But, yeah, so you got that, and then you've got the bit where you invade Dyson's house, and you can decide whether Sarah kills Dyson or not. These obviously have big effects going forward. The most immediate one being is when you go to Cyberdyne, you can't open the door. Even though I'm pretty sure in the film, Arnie opened the door with his grenade launcher. So, no, I can't remember if that was the vault, though. It hasn't been a little while since I've seen the movie. I know they had to do the double key thing to get the stuff out of the vault, but I'm not sure whether the door to the vault was locked in terms of, like, not accessible via grenade launcher. But whatever. I'm sure someone will correct me in the comments if anyone watches this. So, yay. So, basically, it's a great game.
Continue.
I've had a ton of fun with it. I've played it through multiple times, just because the gameplay is so good. So I've probably done better than a lot of people will do out of this, who will... I mean, basically, I don't like saying this, but Steam's return service, you could probably, you know, if you sat down and really cracked it through on the lowest difficulty, you could probably do it, like all 3 runs in 2 hours, and then just return it, which is a horrible thing to say, and I would encourage you not to do that, because it is a great game, and I'd like to see them get money. Most of the criticism I've seen is around the pricing for all the content, and while I can understand it, I don't feel ripped off from it, paying £22, whatever it was I paid for it. I certainly feel like I got more than enough game out of it to justify that price. I certainly enjoyed it enough to justify that price anyway. I mean, if you're a T2 fan and you know you enjoy your side scrolling shoot 'em ups, then it'd be right up your alley. I imagine it would be definitely worth it for you. But if you're a little bit more circumspect, you're not a huge fan of the Terminator or anything like that, then maybe save you money, or at least wait till it comes down in price for a sale or something like that. It gets a huge thumbs up for me. It's just the price prospect for others is kind of the sticking point. I mean, I'm fine with it. I would have liked more. Yes, don't get me wrong. There's stuff from the movie that wasn't in there that I would have liked to see. They do cover like 90% of it, I'd say, and more, because you have like the future stuff as well, and the prologue. But I would have liked to see things done just slightly different. Like you could add like a beat 'em up section when John tells Arnie to pick up that guy, and he picks him up by his hair, and they almost have a fight until he goes to shoot them, and that could have been in there, for instance. Yeah, stuff like that. It would have been nice to be able to play the T800 more, and outside the sort of alternate timelines, if you like. So yeah, I mean, if you're playing a game called Terminator 2, you kind of want to play as Terminator. I realise they're emulating the game. What is weird that they didn't have in, now I think of it, is the escape from Pescadero. Because, you know, when they've got the lift thing and he's trying to stab them through it, and then they get in the car and they have to drive away and he's chasing them. That's not in it. I don't understand why. Basically, Pescadero ends when the elevator opens and Arnie and John come out. Not Arnie, I should also mention, actually. They haven't got Arnie's likeness in the game. So the character model himself is very generic, very sort of muscular, brush cut guy. And when he speaks, you get a pop up of his face, but basically his face has been taken off. It's just the Terminator skeleton in the middle and sort of like flesh around the edges. I imagine it's because Arnie was too expensive to license, but they do seem to have the likenesses of Linda Hamilton, Edward Furlong, and I don't know why I tried to do the names. Patrick, something Patrick, David. Oh, that's going to annoy me. Hang on one sec. We are absolutely doing this live. Ticky-tock. Robert Patrick. Ha! I was close. There we go. I should know that. I only watched like all of the seasons of Scorpion. But, you know, brain, whatever. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's a really good game. As I said, the price versus content is the only thing you really need to worry about. And I would say it's only a real worry if you don't like Terminator 2, and who doesn't like Terminator 2? So, or if you can't afford food, in which case I would probably not buy it. I would buy food. There you go. Top tip. Anyway, guys, that's me for this week. Take it easy, and I'll catch you next time.